Hello everyone, Lost Quest is here, and today we're going to deep dive into Hidden Pass gameplay. Hidden Pass is a tactical turn-based RPG inspired by Divinity Original Sin 2 and Wartales. The most important part of the game is arena-like combat with square grid system and, of course, initiative order. We have already launched Hidden Pass skirmishes, featuring a trio of tactical challenges for 4 playable squads. So we're going to review Hidden Pass skirmishes with you on an example of the third combat, which is the most interesting and challenging one. But first of all, let's look through the basics. One of the most important key features in Hidden Pass is layering. The first thing that catches your eye is the number of floors on each level. The level consists of 3 distinct layers: lands, hills, and floating elites. All units can move freely within one floor and can also climb higher and descend. On high ground, you get several advantages, such as increased range and damage of your attack and spells. Thanks to this, you can get a serious tactical advantage, slay the enemies before they have time to come and snap at your heels. So let's stick to the classics. On the one hand, Hidden Pass is an example of a classical turn-based RPG. We have action points, which you spend on casting spells and performing different actions, as well as movement points, which are self-explanatory. However, if you need to move more, action points can be converted into move points using a special action, dash. You can get all of the points refreshed at the start of each unit's turn. Definitely, units move on a grid, have 2 types of attack and 2 types of armor, a wide range of states which can be combined in a very interesting way. There is a turn order and initiative system. Everything is familiar and understandable. The second key feature is Elyrium poisoning, or inverted mana. In other words, we decided to abandon the classical mana system. Instead of needing to spend a resource on abilities, your units now suffer the consequences of their action by accumulating Elyrium within their bodies. By casting spells and performing actions, you are always walking on the edge of the knife between risk and reward. The more the Elyrium poisoning, the more damage you deal. Beyond the unit's Elyrium tolerance lies madness. Elyrium starts to tear your body apart, damaging you or instantly destroying automatons. Their metal shells for bodies cannot contain such power. There is a very important mechanic which adds to the classical mechanics in turn-based RPGs and strategies. So, the high dynamic of the battle is ensured by the ability to move quickly around the map, as well as the ability to pin down the enemy, just like he can pin down you. Fear not, you can always properly shove the enemy way, thus avoiding attacks of opportunity, or push the enemy from a high ground, dealing some serious additional damage. One more important core features of Hidden Pass is so-called drop-off. So the game is fast, the damage is immense, 3 to 4 nasty hit scans spell down for you unit. But don't worry, because you can always send in the reinforcements. Automatons and other recruits in your reserve are eagerly waiting to help you out in the hour of need. The death in Hidden Pass isn't permanent, so the death of a hero or an automaton is not so severe. Wanderers and death go hand in hand, so they took some precautions and came up with Wanderer's Hall. So in this building, you can bring back heroes from their untimely demise. As for automatons, there is always a steady supply of them from the fabric at your tower. Of course, if you can provide enough resources. As I have already said, largely due to several levels of heights, in essence, the player on each map plays in 3 planes at once. And this is exactly about the variability of hidden paths. You can go up using a jetpack and increase your Elyrium poisoning, or you can just climb, which does not give poisoning, but also doesn't give bonuses in attack. As the point is the following: when using a jetpack, you are given a bonus for magical attack. And that is how it is. The correct positioning of the unit is extremely important. Being on a hill, long-range units attack with full damage at a longer distance. By the way, there are no misses in our game. Characters can either not see the enemy at all, and there is no attack at all, of course, or hit, but depending on the distance, either with full damage or not. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 style. And being on mini elites, you see the floating rocks, you also get a small increase in magical attack. But tactics are tactics, there are no win-win combinations. So being at height is extremely likely that your hero will be thrown from this height, painfully, perhaps even against a stone, which will add more pain. And if you slam into a crystal, you will be poisoned. So we try to balance the combat with this sacred rule in mind. For every action there is a reaction. And if something seems imbalanced to you, you are totally wrong. Let's say, if your hero is a melee fighter, then you will try to get close to the enemy. This is advantageous, because we have attacks of opportunity. It isn't especially nice against a weak spell slinger, but there is always an opportunity to kick the enemy and to throw him away, maybe even with damage. In general, moving in hidden paths is a separate kind of tactical art. We build each map with maniacal love, trying to make them as diverse as possible, and sometimes even like a labyrinth. So that somewhere you can hide, somewhere you can fancy yourself off with traps, if you're a pathfinder, for example, and somewhere you can use astral movement if you are an astral mage. This way you won't get bored. All the maps will be in different styles. We recently have added a new type of map with dark tones. It isn't the final, but we're right now finalizing it. And bear in mind, our combat is ability oriented. The second pillar of the game, as I have said, is Elyrium poisoning. In simple terms, it is inverted mana. And here is a nuance. As soon as you reach the maximum of your Elyrium poisoning, you fall into a state called madness, and now all your cast will take away your health. Well, as a cherry on the top, your speed decreases with increasing poisonous. In general, the decision here is also up to the player. You can make yourself a lethal killing machine, but slow-moving and extremely vulnerable. Here in Hidden Path skirmishes, there are not all classes that we have and planned in the game. So I just want to announce that the game currently has 4 races, 7 classes, 21 specializations, and quite a lot of expertises. That is, you can collect a huge number of variation, even despite some restrictions. For example, ogres can't be engineers. Sorry for that. At the same time, leveling up is most similar to the Hero's Might and Magic series. Getting a level up, you can pump up one of the expertise, either a new one or to take an already taken one, and increase the characteristics, of course. Each class has unique abilities, giving the opportunity to play differently. Do you like to play as a damage dealer? Of course, you can use an assassin with strong damage to one enemy and invisibility to boot. Do you prefer to keep the enemy at a distance and control the map? Astral Mage of Space is your choice. A bunch of force movements, debuffs, and stuns for your pleasure. Do you like to trick and lure the enemy? Take a Ranger Pathfinder. And we don't talk about summoner classes, which do not present in Hidden Path skirmishes right now, but will present in alpha version of Hidden Path. That is a whole spectrum element and world, like a necromancer and a chaos adept. And engineers are the guys who work through replaceable automaton units. Automatons, by the way, are also a huge part of the game. Not only it isn't a pity to lose them, they can be always built in a factory. But engineers also know how to repair them during the battle and apply all sorts of buffs. At the same time, they cause very real damage. Here is a short footage for 15 minutes, and in few words I try to explain what the Hidden Path game is. I hope you found it interesting. If you have questions or you want to share your thoughts, please write reviews or take part in our Discord server communication or post something on Twitter. We are always waiting for you feedback. This was Lost Quest, Hidden Path game. Enjoy playing only good games.